Hey everybody, this is Threshold Training's workout day for Saturday, September 5th. So I hope you guys are looking forward to a 3-day weekend we have here. Remember on Monday, which is Labor Day, we only have classes at 8 o'clock in the morning and 9:30 in the morning. Prepare for a long workout, prepare for a sweaty one, bring water, bring sweat towels, and get ready to have some fun. So today's workout for Saturday, in teams of 2, we're going to perform the following 3 8-minute AMRAPs with a 2-minute rest after every 8 minutes. Okay, so you guys will be working together during this 8-minute AMRAP. We're going to perform, each round is composed of the following: 400-meter burden carry. You're going to share this between you and your partner as 200-meter intervals. So you're going to pick a burden, wall ball, kettlebell, dumbbell, or slam ball, to carry around the 200-meter loop on your shoulder, on your back, in front, by your side. Any way, shape, or form. You can walk or run this, up to you. I'd encourage you to pick a load that allows you to run with the object on your body. So recommended loads are between 15 and 35 pounds. Again, light enough where you can start to trot and run with that load. Once you come back from your run, you can air high five your partner and they do their 200-meter run, so you're both combined to a 400-meter burden carry. Then you two are going to go split up 30 toes to bar or knees to elbows. Okay, something with a hanging motion. This could be kips. Okay, for those of us who maybe don't have toes to bar, knees to elbows, we can do kips on the pull-up bar, working that rhythmic swing, being consistent in our technique, making sure our knuckles are over the bar. We're going back and forth, using the shoulders as the primary driver, legs are straight, and we're going forward behind the bar, in front of the bar for multiple reps. If we're doing toes to bar, knees to elbows, make sure you're pressing down and in on that bar to help pull your toes or your knees up to the bar or to your elbows. This way you'll also utilize the shoulders to get yourself behind the bar and help close the gap between the bar or your elbows. Again, you guys are sharing these 30 reps. You could break it up into sets of 5s, 10s, 8 and 7, 8 and 7, up to you. You communicate with your partner on that. Then you both are going to do 8 synchronized power snatch. Okay, the synchrony is going to happen only at the top. Okay, so for power snatch, if you're in person, we're going to use this barbell style. If you are at home, you can do a dumbbell variation. Okay, I would do 8 reps or 10 alternating dumbbell snatch in that scenario. So we'll show both movements. So for the barbell snatch, we'll start with the barbell on the floor. Nice wide grip. Grip should be as wide as the bar will fit into your waist with straight elbows. From here, feet are hip width apart, shoulders are above the hips, hips below the shoulders. We're going to pull the bar, hips and chest rise at the same rate to our waist. Launch, catch. Make sure you're locked out when you land and your hips or knees are bent. Then we'll stand. This is where the synchrony will happen with your partner. Then you will reset and come again. And wait for your partner, make eye contact with your partner to make sure you both are at the top at the same time. For a dumbbell power snatch, very similar mechanics. Let's make sure we get our hips lower than our shoulders, pull the dumbbell to our waist with a straight elbow, not a bent elbow. And we are launching, catching overhead, standing, and then following the dumbbell back down with our hips for the next repetition to effectively utilize our legs for the movement. So you will cycle between the carry, toes to bar, knees to elbows, and the synchronized power snatch for 8 minutes between you and your partner. Then we'll take a 2-minute rest. We'll go into another 8-minute AMRAP, similar movements, 400-meter burden carry. Again, still splitting it up like 200-meter intervals. This time, instead of toes to bar, knees to elbows, 30 alternating single leg V-ups. So we're on the ground, nice straight leg, up to arm to toe, back down, up, back down, etc. until you hit 30. So this movement should be slightly easier than toes to bar, knees to elbows variation. So you should move a little bit more readily in this movement. Again, you are breaking these up, these V-ups between you and your partner. Then we have 8 synchronized overhead squats. So, a word on the loading. The loading is changed from the power snatch to the overhead squats. It's heavier. Okay? Now, depending on the person, you might be able to snatch in this workout more than you can overhead squat. So if you need to change the squat in order to allow for continuous motion and synchrony, okay, let's do that. Rather than trying to force the overhead squat and put us in a tough situation for our shoulders or our low back. Okay, so that might be that we do a front squat or a back squat from the floor. That's fine. The synchrony in the squats happening at the bottom and the top. Okay, so the overhead squat would look like this. Okay, I could get the bar here and bring it up and over and then overhead squat, or I could snatch it up and then begin overhead squatting, or I could squat snatch. But recognize that you still have to synchronize with your partner, so it would be helpful to communicate with your partner how you're going to get the bar up so you guys are going up and down at the same rate and at the same time. So for our overhead squats, we want to make sure that our elbows are locked out, elbow pits are turned towards the ceiling, wrists are broken slightly. Here, feet are in shoulder width stance. As we descend down, we are pressing up and back over our neck. As we descend, we can have a slight lean forward so long as we are pressing up and back. And then we are coming up to full extension of the knees and the hips. It benefits you to go slower on the way down, faster on the way up, so that you set yourself up on the way down in a good position for you to ascend out of the squat. If you're at home and you're doing a dumbbell variation, you can do a dumbbell one-arm overhead squat. Just recognize the mobility challenges or requirements needed for that. So this may change to a goblet squat. That's fine, no problem. Okay, we can do that. I would choose the same rep count, 8. You can keep the same dumbbell. If you don't have an array of dumbbells to choose from for squats, that's fine. Then after this 8-minute AMRAP, we have a 2-minute rest. Then our last 8-minute AMRAP, still doing the 400-meter burden carry, splitting it up with your partner into 200-meter increments. You're still carrying the same burden, so you're not switching burdens. It's not increasing load or decreasing load. You're keeping the same object, whether that's a slam ball, dumbbell, plate, or kettlebell. Unless the object is bothering you in some way, then we won't switch it. We have 30 ab mat sit-ups. So ab mat sit-ups will be on the ground. You can have an ab mat, pillow, or blanket here. Shoulders touch the ground, fingers touch the toes. That's 1. You are splitting those reps up between you and your partner. Then we're going to finish off with 8 synchronized deadlifts. Again, the weight will change from the overhead squats. It will become heavier. Okay, so for these deadlifts start on the floor with the barbell. They will finish in standing with the shoulder behind the bar. We need to make sure that our hips are above our knees, so our shins are vertical, and then our shoulders are rolled down and back, so we support the tension in our back. And then from here, we're pushing through our toes and our heels to rise. Once the bar is at full extension, you've completed the rep, and you're about to do another one, then let's make sure we push our hips back. As it approaches the knees, we reach our hips down slightly towards the floor in order to get the barbell back towards the floor, versus reaching with our hands down towards the floor, and all of a sudden we've lost our shape of our spine because we were reaching down through the floor. Okay, so here, if you are at home, you can do a dumbbell deadlift variation. That could be here, straddling a dumbbell, or here, suitcase variation. If you have 2 dumbbells, I'd recommend using 2 dumbbells for the deadlifts, either by your side or in the middle. Either way, following the same mechanics as you would with a barbell. You do not have to touch both hexes to the ground. You just need to touch one. Okay, so if you're doing this individually, For the burden carry, do your 200-meter burden carry, then rest as long as it took you to do the burden carry, as if you had a partner going around and doing the same burden carry for you. That way you have a work to rest ratio there, and you're not missing out on rest. Then do half of the toes to bar, knees to elbows. Same thing with the V-ups and the ab mat sit-ups. You're doing half the reps, so 15. Then keep the power snatch, overhead squat, and deadlift reps the same. Okay? With the exception of the alternating dumbbell power snatch, do 10 per arm. Or sorry, 10 total, 5 per arm. Okay? All the rest of the reps, 8 synchronized, or 8 overhead squats, 8 deadlifts, keep that the same. Okay? All right, so that is Saturday's workout. Have fun. This should prove to be a fun workout, and we hope to see you in class. Have a great weekend.